I'll tell you, it wasn't another slow weekend, man. There was a lot of news out there, Tim.
That's right. That's right. Never a dull moment. Getting a little bit of repeat there.
No, you're awfully quiet though.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
Is that better?
Much better. How you been doing, buddy?
Stand by. Oh, I've been great. I mean, fantastic. The family's good. I'm good. The project is rapidly undertaking its own path at this point. And so life is perfect. Thanks for asking. How about yourself, buddy? You sound better.
You know what? I've been working my throat a lot today. You know, if you would have seen me around 5 o'clock this afternoon, I looked pale. I looked like death had come over me. And then I ate some dinner and I had a nap for about an hour, and I felt really good. So we're energized for tonight. But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to prepare. I mean, when you work a long day like I do, you gotta make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
I do, man. You're a champion on the topic, and we're all so glad that you're feeling better. It's good to see your smiling face.
It is a pretty smile. I'm not gonna lie. It is. You know what? I want to quickly say something before we continue, and you don't know about this. This is totally off the trails of UFO talk, but I always like to mention this, and that is, it was 4 years ago tonight that I found out my 29-year-old nephew had passed away due to a fentanyl overdose. He had actually died on July 17th. We didn't find out as a family until the 18th. And my nephew was an addict. He didn't look like an addict. He didn't act like an addict. But he had some tough times, and he was in rehab when he broke down and decided that he needed that one final fix. And he was found peacefully in a park in Vancouver, sleeping on a picnic table, kind of just sitting on the table and with on the bench with his head down on the table. And they tried to revive him, and it didn't work. And it's been a tough 4 years, because I was 15 years old when my nephew was born, and he was my sister's only child. And you never ever get over something like that. And so what I want to quickly do is I just want to remind people that, a lot of times when we're walking down the streets of a city or a town, and we see the so-called junkies that are, hitting us up for change, or acting whacked out because they are stoned out of their trees. A lot of times we call them a bunch of names. We call, whether we call them a waste of time, a waste of oxygen, a waste of humanity, vermin, filth, whatever you want to call them. Okay. We've all treated junkies and people with drug problems, like they are lesser human beings. The one thing that I've learned since my nephew passed away was that every soul has value. Every soul out there has the ability to survive. And just because life may not have gone their way doesn't mean we as humans shouldn't treat them any differently than you would treat your mom and dad, your brother, sister, or your best friend, or your partner, your wife, your spouse, a husband, whatever you may have. And this is just my friendly reminder to all of you that if you see somebody who's an alcoholic or is a drug addict, they just need help. And sometimes that help is walking away and letting them hit rock bottom. But sometimes that help is just a friendly voice reminding them that you love them. And that is something that I am proud that my final words to my nephew, the last time I saw him was at Christmas in December of 2017. But my final words to him were, I love you. And I'm happy about that. I miss him every day. I miss him more than anything. I would love to talk to him again. I would love to do absolutely everything with him again. I'd love to wrestle with him, even though he was big enough to kick my ass, you know. But I would love to, just have that one more minute, that one more hour, that one more day, just like Tim, you would with your father who passed away just a couple of months ago. We all want that one moment left. And just do me a favor, if you're part of this audience, next time you see an addict, don't call them scum. Don't call them vermin. Don't call them a waste of time or a waste of oxygen. Remember, that's somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's grandchild, somebody's brother, somebody's sister who just lost their way. And maybe it's your friendly hello, your friendly advice, your friendly smile at them, or even your friendly, I care. Words that say I care could do so much to one person. Words do affect people both positively and negatively. And, remember, every soul on this planet, man, has value. It doesn't matter if it's family. It doesn't matter if it's not. It doesn't matter if you hate the person or you love the person. Every soul has value, whether you know them or not. And just take the time and show some humanity to those out there. I was one of them. I remember, when I worked in downtown Vancouver and the so-called bums and the addicts would come up to me, hitting me up for money. And I'd say, get the hell out of here. Don't bug me. I'd treat them just like garbage until it happened to our family. And then I had to learn the hard way that those lost, desperate souls, they just need love. They need some love and they need some attention. Hey, they may be too far gone at that point, but it never hurts to show a little bit of love, even for somebody that you don't know. And if you are an addict, and if you are suffering from any type of drug abuse or alcoholic abuse or any type of physical, sexual abuse, please do us a favor here. Go get help. Okay? You have value. You are worthy of a good life. And there are people out there at all sorts of 1-800 numbers that you could call anywhere in North America and around the world that would love to help you out. And please remember that you are loved. You have value. And whether you believe it or not, people will care and do care about you. So that is my loving message to the SOR crowd tonight. I do it twice a year where I remind this, and that's on my nephew's birthday. He'd have been 32 years old this year. And that's way too young. That's way too young. And he passed away at 29. And I miss him every day. And like I said, and if you saw my hands here, I'm actually shaking because I hate talking about this. I really do. I love the woo. I love everything about what we do here on SOR. But every now and again, we just need to remember that we're family. Every human is part of our family. And, sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we don't see that. But we have to remember that every human is our family. And you may not like somebody. There's people out there who don't like me, and I'm okay with that. But the big thing is, at least remember that whether you like someone or not, every soul on this planet has value. And take the time to show that love to people. And because there's a lot of hurting families out there that need that love, and there's a lot of hurting people out there that need that love, and we can do it together. And once again, if you are suffering from addiction, please go get help. There's a lot of free help out there just waiting for you to pick up the phone or walk in their door and say, I need some help. and it's right there for you. And we love you. We send good vibes and strength to each and every one of you out there who is struggling with addiction or some sort of abuse. And keep up the hard work. You have value. I thank you, Tim, for letting me just kind of butt in and say that at this time. And you know, let's hope that at least one person can feel what we say and get the help that they need.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you for that honest emotion and outpouring to your audience. That was amazing, buddy. I love you. You're awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's get to some UFOs though. We got about 4 minutes here before we got to go to break here. And there was a weird video that came out about two jet fighters potentially chasing a UFO. What's this about?
That's right. So a brand new published case as of July 18th. This was actually fighter pilots chase Tic Tac shaped UFO at high speed over a park full of tourists. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Is my sound all right?
Yeah, we got you fine, bud.
Excellent. So Alex McCall and his daughter were on holiday in Maine in USA when an unidentified object the shape of a Tic Tac sped over the park and then vanished into the clouds. And so two Top Gun pilots have been filmed giving chase to a UFO over a park full of tourists. Alex McCall was with his school teacher daughter and grandchildren when military jets blasted across the skies at high speed. And so this film that follows up is actually exactly what that describes. Dave, they're starting to show up everywhere and people with their cameras are able to capture it. This case is pretty awesome. And actually, there's a few other people that came forward about this case. And so it sounds like we're going to get even more data points on it to follow up. How do you feel about this?
You know what? When I first saw the video, I wasn't sure, because that's it, to me, it's an easy video for CGI. You get two jets flying over the beach, and then you quickly, tap in and out a Tic Tac that seems to come into play, and then it go, right before it hits the clouds, it disappears. Then it seems to reappear right on top of the clouds. And I wasn't sure about it. And I remember scrolling by it this morning, Tim, and I was like, nah, there's no way this one is real. I didn't bother doing the follow-up like you did, that there are other witnesses to this, that it was chasing some sort of Tic Tac type craft. So this has sprung my eyes open a little bit and really made me think, well, maybe there is something to this video that we caught here. And if it is, it's quite the rarity.
That's right. And so former pilot Alex, who came out Alex's daughter, was able to film the eerie moment on her iPhone as they roared over Acadia National Park in Maine, USA. And so Alex was actually a former pilot himself, and he was convinced from his 25 years of flying that the white Tic Tac shaped UFO could not have been another plane. And he said, my daughter took the video, it's legit, and we don't know what it is. Pretty convincing stuff.
Has there been any reaction from UFO Twitter and some of the former fighter pilots regarding this video?
That's a great question. This was actually covered by more than one. So this was not just covered by the Mirror and the Sun. This is actually getting picked up by some other major networks. And so since this case is so new, we're going to have to sit on our heels here a moment and just wait for a little more data to come out and some more witnesses, because according to some of these stories, there are. So let's wait and watch.
Oh, man. I would love to get the opinion of somebody like Alex Dietrich or David Fravor or Ryan Greaves on this, or any fighter pilot to come on out. I mean, I had a hard time recognizing the jets. I mean, I wasn't sure if they were F-15s. They did look to be Air Force jets, not Navy jets. I wasn't sure if they were F-15s or F-35s. or F-22s. But we could continue that conversation, Tim, as we continue with the UFO report when we return. And we'll end it by saying, with YJ Overlander, if you want to check out the legitimacy of a UFO video, just ask Mick West. And if he says it's fake, it's actually real. The UFO report continues right after this. Love it. All right, my man, we're clear.
Cool.
Yeah, just to say, as soon as you say I'm sounding good, my voice starts going on me. Son of a.
Hey, man, you had to say what you had to say, and that was beautiful, by the way.
Appreciate that. I just realized I haven't even found Shirky Poo's news yet. All right. There's one. Excuse me. Oh, let's see here. That's a good one right there.
I love your guest tonight. Is my internet crashing again?
No, I swear to God, this StreamYard is going to be the death of me today.
Well, I might jump out, man. My internet crashed for like 3 hours earlier. My sons are all up.
You've been fine all the entire show. You've been fine the entire show.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's on my end for some reason. We got a storm rolling through here. Hey, there's the scowling Greg O'Brien in the chat room, people. If you're lucky, he will scowl at you. If you hit him up for an autograph, free scowls from Greg O'Brien.
That's right.
Right. Thank you again, Dennis. I appreciate that lovely super chat. That's 2 for you. I appreciate that. A bunch by Simon tonight until I think he passed out. Dry Toast, T2E. Thank you so much for that amazing super chat. And Backspin as well. Worsley. Thank you guys. And Lala for the love. That was absolutely amazing tonight. And let's see. Is it going to let me put my stories up now? It looks like it. Let's see here. Yeah, that's dumb right there. We're going to add that one in. And all right, that's a good one right there. There we go. And I just closed one. Son of a wife. That's the one I closed? Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, Tim.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah. And little Terrence Hall is back in the chat room.
Awesome.
Yeah. We like him.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I was doing Thomas's show earlier and my internet just crashed. I was doing a show the other day, Mind Forked, crashed. Like as soon as I got into the show. In fact, it's so frustrating.
Oh, I know.
Weird issues with Xfinity out here.
All right. I don't know what is with StreamYard. I actually put a note on their community today. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Apparently, YJ. Yeah, I think YJ and a couple others stated that that one of the issues that's happening with StreamYard is there's some sort of tech issue between StreamYard and YouTube right now. And it's causing these little glitches to all of a sudden, boot people from the program. It's weird because it doesn't kill the stream. It's just actually, knocking me as the primary person out of the out of the room. And like, it happens 3 times a show now. Yeah, I blame Rogers and Trudeau too. That's all. This is definitely a Trudeau issue. 100% a Justin Trudeau issue.
Oh, I love it. Again, I must say that is the Canadianist thing you've ever said.
Yeah, I know. We got like 30 seconds. The Canadianist thing. I think that's the second time you've used that on me, my man.
I'm checking it at you as often as I can now. It works.
Oh, man.
You are a Canadianist.
Yes.
You are the Canadianist.
Uh-huh.
The beard and hair combination of glory.
Here we go, brother. Here we go, brother.
Rocket.
We're rounded third. We're headed for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate it. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to one of our broadcast owners, Len Novin, down in Apache Junction, Arizona. Not only has he loves Spaced Out Radio on his radio station called The Rattler, but guess what? The numbers on The Rattler for Spaced Out Radio were going so well that Len has actually bought a second signal and is going to be putting us on that second signal down in Apache Junction on the Bull FM and then AM as well. So thank you. We're going to get a bunch of new listeners down in Arizona, and we really do appreciate it. And thank you, Len Novin and Chuck Contreras and all of our radio stations out there who broadcast us nightly. You guys make it so much fun, and we love working hard for you and bringing you this weird stuff to your radio stations each and every night. So keep it on up, and I can't wait to get down to Arizona. We're going to have to plan, Tim, to head down to Arizona, down to Apache Junction, and meet some of our fans down there. We're going to have to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hang out with Melinda Leslie. She's down there.
We can do that. She's down in Sedona.
With her UFO tours.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know you're thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah. We can also hit up the Bradshaw Ranch as well.
That's
in Sedona.
Right.
Go look for them dinosaurs that Hoodoo THAL is doing.
And
yeah, this sounds like a road trip. It'll probably end up in Vegas, just like Denver did.
Everything ends up in Vegas with you.
Everything ends up in Vegas afterwards. But yeah, thank you, Len, for adding us to the Bull. We really appreciate it, and we love it down there that your audience is loving Spaced Out Radio, and it's an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. All right, my man. Right before the break, we were talking about this weird UFO sighting in Maine, where two jets, which look to be United States Air Force jets. I find this funny, man, because we haven't heard much out of the United States Air Force regarding UFOs and chasing them down. And these craft definitely look like F-15s or F-35s because they are a bigger craft.
Yeah, it's like prying out teeth trying to get details on any of these cases coming directly from the United States Air Force. That's not going to happen. That's why these cases have to be broken by the public. You know, I think just like you're doing, the work you're doing is great. The fact that we're talking about this on the airwaves is massive. You know, these are how this is the way these cases get talked about and realized by a larger group of people. Otherwise, it's just covered and swept under the rug because it's covered by, initially by rags like the Sun and the Mirror and things like that, and the Inquirer, let's just say, with the alien stole my baby stories. It kind of robs us of the facts, and so a case like this that's really good, sometimes we lose. So, let's press forward with cases like this, and let's not just disregard them as being CGI fakes. Let's look deeply into it. Let's listen to the witnesses. Let's take a good look at the events. Kind of sideswipes me into the next story because it kind of contradicts everything that we're talking about here. I don't know if you're ready for it, but boy, does it just roller coaster right into it. You want to hit the headline?
Yeah, well, let me check it here. Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, I'm still stuck on that video, man. I'm
It's
still
too
stuck
bad
on
that we can't show it and describe it to your radio audience, because I'd be happy to go over it. I've
oh, I
already taken a look at it.
All right. Pentagon UFO videos and alien invasion warnings are cover ups for something more sinister, claims an aerospace engineer. Yeah. I know who's done this article. And I will say this man who you're going to talk about here has not been in the front lines of ufology for a while. And there are a bunch of different rumors and reasons as to why, but he sure tried to hit a foul ball with this one. Not even a home run, a foul ball, I will say. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, please tap your cigar and I shall continue here, sir. The Pentagon videos believed to show UFOs filmed by the Navy pilots and are being put out to get the public ready for a fake alien invasion is what a new aerospace engineer has claimed. Mike Barra, who says he's worked on many classified military projects, said he has analyzed the videos, often referred to as the gimbal, the tic tac, and the go fast, and found that there was nothing exceptional about any of them. So the TV personality believes that they all show easily explainable phenomenon, such as drones. In the wild theory, believes that they could have leaked to been that these videos have been leaked to prepare people for a fake alien invasion. Self-confessed conspiracy theorist Mike told The Sun, the Navy put out these videos about 4 or 5 years ago now about these objects. There's one called Gimbal Go Fest and one called Tic Tac. And I'm an aerospace engineer and I spent 25 years working in the industry, and I now know my aircraft and I also know the capabilities of the instrument. I'm a big aviation buff and I know everything in the sky. I was, I'm sorry for smiling. Um, I was on many, many different programs. Some were classified in the military, some were commercial. So when I looked into these videos, I'm looking at a couple of things. First of all, everything I can see is performing in a conventional manner. There's nothing exceptional about any of these videos. Continuing this quote, for example, there's the Tic Tac video when they say, oh, look, it shoots off the screen at a rapid speed. That's not what happens. Following in this quote, there's little instrument indication that's there on that display. I'm going to start over. There's a little instrument indication there on the display. That's the zoom factor. And what happens, it says it's zooming from 1, which is the normal focal length of the lens, to the zoom factor of 2. And so what happens is when they zoom up and it zooms up past the object and it disappears off to the side of the screen, the object isn't moving. And that's very obvious. So he's tearing apart these videos in a deep way. What is your consideration to his opinion that a lot of this is explainable as camera movement and mundane drones?
Oh, well, as I said right off the bat, I think it's Mike Barra trying to be relevant once again. And he hasn't really made any statements. There's a reason why he hasn't been speaking at a lot of UFO conferences the last 7-8 years. He used to be a real big face on the UFO circuit. And then for one reason or other, whether it's research or whether it's personal, I don't really know. I've never met the man, never talked to the man. I'm just going by what I've heard. So that's the woo rumors of the day. But there's a reason why that he hasn't been on a lot of television shows or UFO conference dockets for a while. And to me, it sounds like somebody who is already made up his decision on what UFOs are. Yes, his resume is impressive. Yes, he has a high level of credentials. However, there's much more to this story than what he is leading on, and I think he's trying to use his credentials as opinion in furthering his own opinion rather than what the facts of many videos and other eyewitnesses or whistleblowers have said recently.
Right. Right. And it's kind of another Mick West that rears its head with an explanation no matter what, and it's never going to be UFO. I find that quite frustrating, as that is not part of the palette in the descriptions as to potential. And so, again, it is one of those things that you have to consider, that could this be could this just be, a Navy release of a cover up? Could you go down the conspiracy hole and think that this is just what the Navy decides to show us as far as drone footage, but there's a whole bunch of footage that we haven't seen, and that's the classified version, and that's the interesting stuff. So it's really tough to walk the line of belief and what's valid. And so, again, I do understand that we need to have people out there, not so much debunkers, but let's just say skeptics, that are out there looking at the videos and considering all aspects. But if you were to read the same report by another physicist, I guess should remain nameless at this moment, or no, I'll just say it, Dr. Michael Boyd. He publicly came forward with his breakdown, and it's the complete opposite of this man's report. And in fact, Dr. Boyd got into the physics of why it could be something absolutely not mundane, and how it showed. And he explains how this thing moved, and it couldn't have just been sitting stable and the camera moving. So you have to look at both sides of the story, and I appreciate the skeptic, but it seems from the evidence that was shown to me by this skeptic in particular, he only glossed on it and didn't really get into any of the real math.
It was more about bragging about his own resume. But can I add something to this, my friend? Because you and I in Las Vegas met a man who is skeptical. Okay, skeptical, but realizing in one way, and this was about Area 51, where this person worked at one point. And here he is stating that there's nothing UFO going on at Area 51, at least during his tenure there. But in the same breaths, he was also stating that he believed that there were potential craft parked outside of Earth that were hanging out and would come down, pick up people, take them up to the moon, or take them wherever they needed to go. And when we asked him about the secret space program, if this was tied to it, he said he didn't have an answer for that. But this was somebody well-knowledged, well-researched, experienced with personal experiences at Dreamland. I mean, you were right there. You heard it with me. It's nothing we're making up. And so that's the type of skeptic I like, is somebody who can say with fact, no, this isn't happening. Here's the reason why. But on the flip side, it wouldn't surprise me if some of these things are elsewhere. That's how we move the ball forward. Everyone should be skeptical, Tim, but there's a difference between a skeptic and a Mick West or a Mike Barra or other people who have podcasts or YouTube channels.
That's right. It sometimes seems that it's just there to be controversial and to have those clicks and to have people watching. Now, there is a bit of, let's just say, an element of truth to some of the things that they bring forward. And so, we do need that skeptical eye on all cases, and let's be honest, we know that our government isn't transparent. And so if they're showing us videos, we should look at them very skeptically and just look at them for what they are, not leap to otherworldly necessarily. But again, your palette must contain other, if you can't explain it. You don't have to explain everything. We can't. We know that. So again, Dave, the other bracket needs to be in your palette if you're a true skeptic. We don't need debunkers.
And absolutely. And the third one here for our story tonight, Jordan Peele has a new trailer out. Nope. What's this all about?
Oh, Nope looks fantastic. And so I was hoping that you would be able to show some images, at least for your audience. I did send you a few.
Yeah.
And so in the new trailer, it's great because we are seeing craft. This is a topic that we're all going to be able to sink our teeth into. I'm extremely excited to see the latest. It's got some great actors in this one with some great writing. And so I am a bit of a Jordan Peele fan. I hate to admit that, but so I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. And this new trailer that was just released this month is really juicy, and it's got some great images of saucers and clouds that are hiding I'm sorry, saucers that are hiding in clouds, and tornadoes that are taking people up and things like that. So I encourage people to get on the internet and Google it and take a look at the new Jordan Peele trailer that's out for Nope, which is actually what an acronym for Not of Planet Earth.
Oh,
Is that
wow.
right? Yeah,
That sounds.
NOPE.
Let me ask you this as we say hello to the gorgeous and talented Thomas Fessler in our chat room tonight.
Yes, he
Uh,
is.
yeah, let me ask you this about documentaries. It seems like every week now we have a new documentary coming out regarding UFOs, ET abduction. They all have catchy names. They're all trying to get on Netflix and Amazon Prime and everything. Are we overloading the information now, or is it about time this becomes as weekly as it should be?
I mean, you and I know that the media is calling this programming for a reason. I watched commercials on my commercial network, and two in a row had UFOs or aliens in them. I mean, is this a soft sell or what? Are they preparing us for this topic or what? Disclosure is happening all around us. I've never seen them selling it harder. Like, it's literally everywhere. And I mean, you're going to see it in all kinds of films coming. I mean, major Hollywood directors and writers that are choosing this as a topic, and they're doing really well with it. And who knows how close to home some of it actually is, right? So, keeping our eye on the media is really kind of a temperature taker for this topic right now. We're seeing a huge influx of it. Um, I think Time Magazine actually just had a cover dedicated to it. I've actually picked up a couple. I think Newsweek has been having some articles. I know Discover Magazine has. So it's definitely, the topic, and it's a hot one.
It is a hot one. And, I think it also, in my opinion, even though I asked you the question, in my opinion, I love seeing people put their creative minds together. And the other thing that I'm liking that I'm seeing in a lot of these documentaries is it's not if you go back to the 1990s, the 2000s, the 2010s, even up to 5-6 years ago, it was the same people on every documentary with the same message. The only thing that was different was that the documentary title name was different. And whether they were fear-mongering documentaries or whether they were knowledge documentaries or whether they were alien documentaries or whatever it may be, it was still the same people with the same message under a different title. And I like today where a lot of these documentaries, because people are advancing on their own with Adobe editing and video editing and videography, with the prices of cameras coming down, high quality cameras coming down at a cheaper, more affordable cost. I think it's exciting that people are finally able to do their own work and graphics and everything. I think it works. I really do. I'm happy with it.
And how inspirational was Close Encounters of the Third Kind when we saw that in the theaters, at least people of my generation. And, that had its own message, didn't it? It was a message of peace. And I think that perhaps my generation that saw that, if you're going to refer to something in your genre of UFO, hopefully that's a film that you refer to, and you're not going to some of the more Armageddon style verses, because it is a little bit disturbing that you hear the narrative out there that is being put out that we're being prepared for a fake alien invasion that's going to be created by our government or media. That's disturbing. That's not a comfortable temperature to consider our society taking a path that way. And so, I like to think that it's more the close encounters of the third kind interaction that we can look forward to if there is one. And, you know, that's not just the positive side of me. That's kind of more like the historical research side of me. From what I've seen, historically, if there has been this interaction, it looks like our historic interaction has been one that's been of peace, if you will, or of exchange of information, or a betterment for the society as on the whole at the time. I don't think that we've really seen a big sweep. Now, again, I walk lightly here because there are people like yourself that have had experiences that may not be so positive. And again, I hate using the A word, but again, abduction is something very real to a lot of people and is a real thing. It's a topic, and so we have to be considerate of this as a whole, because look at how it could potentially be treated or even manipulated by the media. Hollywood itself has kind of had a real control over it up until maybe recent years, where it has been controlled a little bit more by documentarians and people that are looking for the truth more. And so taking it out of the hands of Hollywood. But there's definitely been an even exchange, and consider what kind of knowledge Steven Spielberg must have had when he produced that film. He got to work with Jacques Vallée and J. Allen Hynek as his associates on that film. That just blows my mind. So that's a moment where reality and Hollywood did shake hands.
Well, you know what? It's either Steven Spielberg of love or M. Night Shyamalan of dark when it comes to aliens and UFOs. And right now, unfortunately, the media is leading towards M. Night Shyamalan and Signs as a reasoning that we got to prepare for the evil aliens to come on down and really, really mess with us. Well, Independence Day 2 would be a sidebar 1A on that side, I believe.
That's right.
Hey, we got Randy Quaid going to blow up the ship. I'm back.
Well, you remember at our sit down in Las Vegas, his grandfather spent quite a bit of time and effort on building what?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.